Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, students. How are you today? I hope you're doing well at home. We are already in chapter 2. In this chapter, you are going to study about several expressions of abilities, permissions, obligation, prohibition, good and service, and also short notice. Also, after you learning this chapter, you are expected to be able to first one, identify expressions of asking and telling abilities, and then the second to identify expression of asking and telling permission, obligation, prohibition, good and service, and then the last is able to write short notice about permission, obligation and prohibition.
Are you ready? Let's move to the first topic.
Listen to this dialogue. Dialogue 1.
Can you swim? Yes, I can. Can you? No, I can't. Can you do freestyle swimming stroke? Yes, I can. What other swimming strokes can you do? I can do back and breaststroke, but I can't do butterfly stroke.
After you heard the recording, you can see that this is the dialogue between Icha and Viva. In here, Icha is asking if Viva can swim or not. And then Viva responds that she can swim with some of the swimming styles. You can see that Icha is asking about Viva's abilities and then Viva describe her abilities. Jadi di dialog ini kita bisa lihat di kalimat pertama bahwa Icha menanyakan kemampuan Viva dalam berenang. And then Viva mendeskripsikan kemampuan berenangnya. Okay, let's listen to another example in dialogue 2.
What music instruments can you play? I can play guitar and piano. What about you? What music instruments can you play? I can play drum and piano, but I can't play guitar.
Based on the dialogue, when you want to describe abilities, you can say using the modal verbs can. I can swim, saya dapat berenang. Salsa can play piano, Salsa dapat bermain piano. I can swim, but I can't dive. Saya dapat berenang, tetapi saya tidak dapat menyelam. Salsa can play piano, but she can't play guitar. Salsa dapat bermain piano, tetapi dia tidak dapat bermain gitar. Meanwhile, if you want to ask someone's abilities, jika kalian ingin menanyakan kemampuan seseorang, you can say, "Can you swim?" The response can be, "Yes, I can." "No, I can't." "Can Dina dance?" Dapatkah Dina berdansa? Yes, she can. No, she can't. "Can you play the guitar?" Yes, I can. No, I can't. What music instruments can you play? I can play guitar. What language she can speak? She can speak Bahasa and English.
That's it about asking and telling abilities. Don't forget to write the important notes at your notebook.
Listen to the dialogue.
Masya Allah, the park is really beautiful. Yes, it is, but there are many prohibitions here. You can't ride a bike, you cannot fly a kite, you cannot camp, and you cannot pick flowers here. So, what can we do in this park? Well, we can walk and run around the park. We can also sit on a bench and read a book.
Based on the conversation between Caca and Alia, we can see that Alia tells what can and cannot do in the park. Jadi di sini Yaya mengatakan sesuatu yang boleh dan tidak boleh dilakukan di taman. Permission and prohibition. In bahasa, permission bisa berarti sebuah izin atau sesuatu yang diperbolehkan. Meanwhile, prohibition dalam bahasa Indonesia means sebuah larangan. So in here you can see the expression of permission when Yaya says we can walk and run around the park. Kita dapat berjalan dan berlari di sekitar taman. We can also sit on a bench and read a book. Kita juga bisa duduk di bangku taman dan membaca buku. Meanwhile, Yaya says the things that you cannot do. Di sini Yaya juga mengatakan sesuatu yang tidak boleh dilakukan. There are many prohibition here. You cannot ride a bike, you cannot fly a kite, you cannot camp here, you cannot pick flowers here. Kamu tidak bisa mengendarai sepeda, kamu tidak bisa menerbangkan layangan, kamu tidak bisa berkemah, dan kamu tidak bisa mengambil bunga sembarangan di sini. So that is the prohibition, that something that you cannot do in the park.
Attention please, we are now in the laboratory preparation area. There is some obligation in this laboratory. You must wash your hands before you enter the laboratory. You must wear the laboratory coat. You must wash your hands again before you leave the laboratory.
So, in here the teacher says that there are some obligations. What is obligation? Obligation is something that you have to do. Jadi obligation adalah sesuatu yang harus dilakukan. Dengan kata lain, obligation adalah suatu kewajiban atau keharusan. So in here the teacher says, you must wash your hand. Kamu harus mencuci tanganmu. You must wear the lab coat. Kamu harus memakai jas lab. You must wash your hands again before you leave the laboratory. Kamu harus mencuci tangan kembali sebelum meninggalkan ruangan lab. So, this is the example of the expressions that you can use when you want to tell permission, obligation, and prohibition. Permission adalah sesuatu yang boleh dilakukan, obligation, suatu yang harus dilakukan, prohibition adalah sebuah larangan. When you want to tell ability, prohibition, permission, and obligation, you need to use modal verbs. Modal verbs means helping words to modify the main verbs. Jadi modal verbs adalah sebuah kata kerja bantu. This is the main command of modal verbs. There are can, may, must, should. The first one, can, with the function to express ability, mengekspresikan sebuah kemampuan, permission, sesuatu yang diperbolehkan, possibility, suatu kemungkinan. She can play guitar, dia dapat bermain gitar. You can camp in this area, kamu boleh berkemah. Smoking can cause cancer, merokok dapat menyebabkan kanker. Meanwhile, may you can use to express permission, to express possibility or probability, untuk mengekspresikan sebuah kemungkinan. It may rain tonight. Malam ini kemungkinan hujan. May I borrow your pen? Dapatkah saya meminjam pulpenmu, untuk mengekspresikan izin. Must, to express 100% obligation, to express logical conclusion, untuk mengekspresikan suatu kewajiban yang bersifat 100% yang harus dilakukan, untuk mengekspresikan sebuah kesimpulan yang bersifat logis. And then the last is should, to express 50% obligation, untuk mengekspresikan kewajiban yang nilainya sekitar 50%. So it means that tidak begitu wajib. And then to express advice, advice means saran, and conclusion, kesimpulan. Okay, so this is how you use the modal verbs. It is divided into verbal and nominal. In verbal, it means that you have to use the verb. Subject plus modal. Modal you can choose between can, may, should, and etc. plus verb 1, negative, subject plus modal plus not plus verb 1, and then interrogative, modal plus subject plus verb 1. And then WH questions, jadi kalau ada suatu kalimat tanya yang ada 5W 1H, you have to use WH question first, and then after that modal, after that subject plus verb 1. And then nominal sentence, it means that there is no verb in the sentence, but you have to use adjective or adverb. This is the example of verbal and nominal sentence of the use of modal verbs. Positive, I must study. Negative, I must not study. Interrogative, must I study? And then nominal, positive, she must be sick. Negative, she must not be sick. Interrogative, must she be sick? Okay, so it's easy, right? You just have to follow the form of the modal verbs. Okay, so will be the last topic is asking for goods and service. In bahasa, goods means sebuah barang and service it can be translated as sebuah pelayanan atau bantuan. This is the dialogue between bookseller and Zalfa. Bookseller in bahasa adalah penjual buku. At the first, bookseller offering the service by saying, "Can I help you?" Dapatkah saya membantumu? Help is service ya. Jadi help di sini adalah berupa service bantuan. And then Zalfa is asking for goods. Zalfa menanyakan atau meminta sebuah barang by saying, "Can I see the book?" Dapatkah saya melihat bukunya? So that is the difference between goods and service. Okay, so this is the expression to ask for goods or service. Jadi ekspresi yang digunakan untuk menanyakan atau meminta. Goods di sini berupa barang and service berupa pelayanan bantuan. And then the expression to give goods or service, ekspresi yang digunakan untuk memberikan sebuah barang or pelayanan. And then the expression to accept and refuse goods or service, ekspresi yang digunakan untuk menerima dan menolak, refuse, menolak goods atau service. For accept, you can say yes please, sure, and then for refuse, you can say no thank you, no I can't do it, no I can help myself. I think that's it for our lesson today. If you have any question, you can ask me through my WhatsApp number. Thank you for joining my class. See you again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye.